All right, we're live, Dean. Welcome to Maximum Libertarian live on YouTube.
As
Uh,
always,
how you doing today?
doing well.
Excellent. I guess today what we'll do is there's a few things that I want to talk about. I want you to chime in. Is I've been with the Libertarian Party now for the past 10 years, and every 4 years we have the exact same thing happen where we have a great candidate, but the news media refuses to talk about it. The other politicians will refuse to talk about it unless they're in a position where they're not going to have a debate. Then they're all for open and honest debates.
Oh yeah,
If it was when they're in that position, they stay silent. And what I just want to talk about is how can the Libertarian Party, because it's becoming very frustrating to me, not that we don't have the better ideas, it's people take our ideas and then they run on them, which it's good if the idea that we're trying or policy that we are trying to push is enacted. The problem that happens is a lot of times you'll see the individuals that enact it. Example, they holler legalization of marijuana. And then it always follows with let's tax it so we can get the tax money from it. And all you have to do is look at the tobacco industry, how they have used the tax money, or how they've taken not just how they've used the tax money, but they've taxed cigarettes so high that they've turned a legal product into a black market product. And you have people getting killed in different communities, in different countries. Because, I mean, look in Canada, Dino Bravo, and I know this was back in the early 90s, but he was transporting cigarettes from US up to Canada, and the mob killed him.
yep.
So what would be an example? What would you do? What do you think about this? I mean, or I don't mind. Look, it don't bother me that I spoil a vote, if you will, with my candidate, because really, if the party that's crying about me spoiling the vote with my candidate had put up a good candidate, they wouldn't have to worry about the small percentage that the LP gets, because most people stay home. So what do you think?
I think really it's them that steal the votes from the Libertarian Party. When it comes down to it, we are getting our own votes. We're pushing, and we have to work harder than anybody to get on ballots and everything else. So we by ourselves are at a disadvantage. We go and we do what we do. And I'm sorry if people think we steal their votes, but we didn't steal their votes. We've earned the votes of the people that actually are sick and tired of the two-party system, or third party, or lost, or have never voted before but think the Libertarian Party is best, what fits them the best. So that's what it comes down to, really, is that we, as Libertarians, I mean, it'll be a little bit more helpful. If it would be much more helpful if we had no letters next to our names. You know, we run as Libertarian, but we would be no Democrat, Republican, and whatnot listed next to the person's name. That would help, people. If it was just on character and ideas and in the person's past, if they looked up into it and they're not corrupt, I mean, it would be probably a better thing. But the problem is, too many people are hooked on, well, let's get example, let's vote for Biden because we don't like Trump, and let's vote for Trump because we don't like Biden, or they're just quote unquote sheep to their parties, and will, no matter what they do, will continue to have, latch on to that party. It's sick, really, because they're missing the best part, which is freedom and liberty, which we give in a libertarian society. I mean, we talk about ranked choice votings or regular voting. Ranked choice could do a lot of good in a way, but it could also pack Democrats that pack Republicans too. So it could be a good or a bad thing. It probably would be better in small races, a good thing, but where the Democrats and Republicans could utilize it against us is in the bigger races where they could pack multiple candidates there too. And
But they do that.
well, they do in the primary, and then it gets cut out.
Well, who cares about their primary race? They can do whatever they want in their primary race.
Biden, Jorgensen, and let's see, it's Biden, Jorgensen, and Trump. People get the opportunity to go, okay, I like Jorgensen, so that's my number 1 pick. Number 2 picks Trump. Number 3 picks Biden. Well, that's good because you might have a lot more people vote for Joe Jorgensen as their second pick, which would then ultimately get us ballot access, and secondly, get rid of this stigma of 2 parties.
Well, I'm in total agreement that ranked choice voting is the route to go, but there was no downside. I don't understand what you were trying to say with like they can't pack us. They can't pack the ranked choice voting like in the primaries. They'll do all Republicans, all Democrats, whatever. That's their problem.
But if they get the opportunity to say, they make the law,
huh?
They make the law that says in the general election they can have as many Democrats and Republicans they can put on that's a problem.
For what seats are you talking about though?
Oh, like president or Congress. I mean, if say they pass a law and says ranked choice voting is good, but it'll be for general election, put as many people as you can on each of the ballots. So the Democrats line up 16, the Republicans line up 30.
I don't think that's how it would work because you would not.
Well, they could rig.
I don't know if the Republican Party or let's try to stay in the realm of, yeah, could they? Sure, if they're going to really do that, but could you imagine they're not going to put all of their primary candidates? You want to run for president on the ballot in November?
That's true. I mean, reality is
is there something that might happen? Yes, I get, but I don't.
Ranked choice voting works for the Libertarian Party, getting like second or first, like winning or being in the second place position, and getting ballot access. They may try to take the law and change it to their advantage. That's my biggest fear.
I'm 110% sure they would change the law. They would try to fiddle with the law to make it harder for the Libertarian or any other party to have an actual shot. But with ranked choice voting, I do feel you'd be able to get rid of the stigma of being a wasted vote or a
sure.
or even you wouldn't even have to use it as a protest vote. You can honestly vote how you feel. And if you really, you could line up them 3 candidates. Now, one thing that I was looking at this morning, and someone had posted on Facebook about it, was they talked about the star system, and I had never heard that. So it was like 5 through 0. It's very similar to ranked choice, but instead of I'm going to label individual 1, 2, 3. We'll use them as a presidential. You could mark every candidate 5 stars, or you could do, I like this guy 5 stars, this girl 5 stars, and this guy I don't really like it. Also, he's going to get 0, or he could get 1. So then the idea, I guess, is even if your lower candidate, your lower scored guy or candidate would possibly make it to round 2, because with the star system, from what I was looking at, it goes whoever the top 2 individuals with the most points will go to the next round, and then whoever, I guess they get it. I don't understand. It seems like ranked choice, just pretty much ranked choice voting, because my vote would never stop. My vote would always go from, if it's from Joe Jorgensen, and then if I wanted to vote for one of the others, I could continue it, could make it go to the next round, or I could just stop it. And I think what the Libertarian Party should be doing, and this is something, and this is going to be the answer to the question, what we should do, we should be figuring out ways to get around the system.
Yep.
This is the system that they're giving us. We stay within the system. We need we need ranked choice voting all across the country. This year in Maine is going to be the first time that they're going to have ranked choice voting. I think it's going to be very interesting in seeing how it plays out. Ranked choice voting up there, but first and foremost, Libertarians should spend the next 3 years trying to get ranked choice voting into each, and especially here in Virginia. So if I cannot dictate everywhere across the country, but here in the state of Virginia, we should be hammering on lowering what makes us a major party from 10% to whatever, lowering how many signatures is required to get onto the ballot. And then number 3 would be ranked choice voting. A star system don't seem like it stands out to me, but them right there would be the first steps that we've got to do.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that.
And what's really frustrating is I'm seeing it here in Kentucky. Mitch McConnell debated a Democrat, and I cannot remember her name. It was Amy, and I cannot remember her last name. But the Libertarian running in the state, Brad, actually qualified to be in the debates. Mitch McConnell, just like in 2013, threw a fit and did not allow Brad Barron to be into the debates.
Doesn't surprise
No, it don't surprise me either, but voters need to start giving pushback. You know, those that sit at home, and we've talked to them, and they're constantly voting, and all they'll say is the politicians lie, cheat, and steal. Well, why do you keep voting for people that lie, cheat, and steal? You know, it's extremely hard for me to sell an individual as being an actual candidate that can win when I just read a poll, and it had Joe Jorgensen at 2.4%. You know, she's a good candidate, don't get me wrong. I like her. But they're going at this campaign, I think, as if it was a normal campaign.
Yep.
It's like me saying to you, Dean, I'm going to go eat 2 dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts every day.
Lord,
what do you think's going to happen to me? And then I'm shocked that in 6 months or a year, you know, I have medical issues. I have a lot of health issues. Well, you know, was it a shock? I could have told you how this is going to end. But here we are playing the same game every day, every year, every 4 years for president. And then now, granted, when it comes to local elections and state elections, it seems to be and when it comes to districts, when it's statewide, it's exactly as presidential. They ignore you. But at least when it's statewide, the local media seems to give people more coverage.
that is a true statement. I mean,
it's frustrating. But now, like, you do have Tom Cotton, who has refused to debate his Libertarian the candidate from the LP, and there's no Democrat running against Tom Cotton.
Yep.
And PBS has given, I think, Ricky Herring.
Yeah, that's what it was.
To give him, like, they're giving him the whole hour. See, that's how that's how the news media should be. If Mitch McConnell would have thrown a fit, they should have said, well, you got 2 options. Either it's going to be you're going to join the 3 people on the other 2 people on the stage, or you're just not going to be part of it. Right. Why they allowed him to dictate was disgusting and sad. But what it is he talked about in one of his campaign speeches, or not campaign speech, but during the debates, he told her He said, "You're just telling me to get rid of me because I've been here too long, but I've brought in the state of Kentucky, $17 trillion, or some nonsense." And so in turn, he's just bringing them home. He's buying the vote instead of actually fixing this stuff.
And how much did
So,
how much did it cost the state of Kentucky? That's the question.
right. How much is it? Not only is it costing the state of Kentucky, it's costing all of us. Because that's the one thing bad about it. It's a lot of times look, California can do whatever California wants. But then they start coming to Washington, D.C. going, hey, we need a handout because we ran our budget into the ground. Every state that's like that deserves to go down.
Yep.
You have to just let it go down. It's just like it's no difference between me and you. If we run our budget bad, sometimes we've got to make adjustments to properly so we can be healthy financially, healthy. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And I think that's one thing, because I just had an email from a guy, and he was like, I want to talk to someone from the LP. He's like, I'm tired of trying to get my family to vote for the Republicans. I want to make sure, or vote for the Libertarians. He's tired of trying to make an argument, because if all I do is bring a candidate and they take 4% of the vote, or they take 9% of the vote, at what point? Now, are we advancing? Absolutely, we're advancing.
We're moving.
I'm not
right direction,
but
slowly but surely.
What you're having problems with is when you have this left side or right side take our ideas, and then they'll sell the idea, people vote for it, and then they churn it up and then spit it out. And it's like I said, it was example, the tobacco and marijuana. They will tax marijuana till it's fucking completely destroyed. They will turn that into the black market.
Oh yeah, it's no doubt in my mind. One interesting thing today, kind of go into something that I want to throw in there. It was actually interesting. Try to go into something Virginia government today on a website and see if you get anywhere, because you're not going to. Somebody, they say it's fiber related. I think somebody hacked the Virginia system and basically cut. You can't get on to register to vote on your last day to vote. Register to vote. You can't get on the VEC to do anything there. You can't get on the health department to look at COVID numbers or to look at anything for the health department. You can't do anything on any of those sites. They're all down right now. It's amazing. Doesn't that seem like a coincidence to you? One last day that people can register to vote, that something happens to the Virginia computers.
Who would you be blaming?
I don't know. There was a thing come out today. The same group that wanted to kidnap the governor of Michigan. It came out that Northam was on the list. Now I know a lot of people around here would love if that people would have kidnapped Northam, but I mean, he's a person. Come on, let's be honest. But I think there's somebody playing games to try to screw up the system. I just feel that. I feel.
Right.
Let's
be honest. When it comes to anybody kidnapping an elected official, that's not acceptable. That's completely ass backwards. And
know as well as I do.
Right. And I just want to clarify, anyone that might hear this in a few minutes or whatever, whenever this thing is uploaded on the YouTube, we're not endorsing anybody to be kidnapped. I want to see people voted out. I want to see a lot of people voted out of office. But
that'd be totally non. But I was saying the same group that wanted to get the lady from Michigan also wanted to get Governor Northam. So I don't know.
The thing is, Tim Poole was doing some type of talk about it, and he was making the argument that they're trying to label it as a bunch of right-wingers, because it makes the Republicans and conservatives and anyone who are limited government look really bad. But he said in reality, he believes that it is that if they were just straight up anarchists, that there was no political thing there. They had like the anarchy flag behind them in one of their Facebook posts. And that's if memory serves right. So, the problem is you get these numbskulls and they go and they think about that stuff, and then it's like you're actually hurting the movement.
Yep.
So if you want to remove Northam, when you do something stupid like that, it will either make people not come out and help you because they don't want to be associated with that, or it fires a base up. It was just very similar to when you were seeing all the riots happen throughout the summer. At first they were expecting it to hurt President Trump in the polls, but then it actually started to help him, and then in turn they quit showing it on the news. So
it's not good that these people are going to be an anarchist, and then people may look up the Libertarian Party and find out there's an anarchy wing, and we're going to have nothing to do with it. But these people are just, it's one of those things, like you're saying, they take ideas or a faction area and they move it into something totally different, and it can hurt somebody that's not even involved.
Right. So then that kind of, that's bad when you see stuff like that. But yeah. But what other things would you think that we can do to get around? To me, that ranked choice voting is number one. It's got to be on. Yeah. If it's not on, voter reform. If it's on, every libertarians who's running for public office who can actually make a difference. Look, Caesar's running for Roanoke City. I get it. There's no way he could vote for change. Well, I guess Roanoke City can do it, maybe, but I'm not certain about that. For some reason, I think there was a law passed here in Virginia that allowed localities to do it. But be it here or there, if not every who would be in a position to be able to make the adjustments, if they're not running on that, then they're fools. And also, I would say that what needs to be done is all libertarians need to go to their elected officials, and you want to tell them that this is what you're wanting to see from them. Now, granted, we've got Sam Razul here in Roanoke. You got Terry Austin in your area, and it don't matter if they're accepted to it or not, but still go in there and say, hey, this is what we're expecting to see. Maybe go to lobby day and push this stuff through.
Yeah, especially voting. That's important.
I'm telling you, voter reform is something that needs to be done, because that way it gets rid of the I'm wasting my vote for Joe Jorgensen. There's no one excited to vote for Donald Trump. Well, I know there are some people, but when it comes to Joe Biden, the Facebook page settling for Biden, that says it all, because a lot of people are not even excited. They're just like, I hate Trump. And when you're doing that, you're now setting me up, because if this moron wins, it sets me up, it sets you up, it sets the entire country up for garbage. But the only difference is, see, now it'll be done by people that you like, and that's where we need to change the thing, is if stop voting for just, you got to look at this law. Who does it affect? It affects A, B, C, D, or it affects A and C. Well, if it's affecting them, we can't push it through, because we've got to start making these laws just, I'm tired of it. But it's like, it's hard to sit here every time and go, let's go out and let's do a sine wave. Let's do a sine wave. How many people are we going to get come out?
Couple.
5, if we're lucky.
We're lucky.
And God forbid you get sick, or you have a job on, your job calls you into work, or whatever that happens. Now who's coming out of it? Now it's going to be me. I always remember me doing that sine wave for Rob Sarvis. And look, I still believe one spark does start the fire. I get it. But when you have so many libertarians out there proclaiming to be liberty-minded, and then it's like, well, are you donating? No. Are you doing anything to advance it? No. Oh, I'm a keyboard warrior. That does absolutely nothing, because the only time people see your Facebook feed is if they're friends with you. You know, it's cool having Jorgensen do a whole bunch of Facebook feed interviews, but if you're not friends with someone who will share that feed, then you don't get to see it. That's it. You know,
Exactly.
it's like going on. You know, so in turn, I think there's basic little things. Sharing, liking a post by someone, that helps. Giving someone $5, that helps. You know, this stuff's not hard, but really, in the end of the day, if you can't get which it is harder than said than done, getting like the voter, you know, changing the way the votes are counted and thing with like ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
People who declare themselves as libertarians need to start standing up and start demanding from the media, start liking and sharing posts, start donating money, start donating time. You know, that's some of the things that needs to be done. It's frustrating because then what happens is you get these armchair quarterbacks. I don't know how often you get it. I get it plenty.
Oh, I see a lot.
Why aren't you doing this? Well, why aren't you doing that? And it's like, well, why aren't you out there helping me? You know?
Or do they want to debate you on an issue, like different party people come in there and trash the crap out of you when all you're trying to do is get a message across? It's ridiculous. We're so separated now. It is ridiculous.
The debate part don't bother me as much as what bothers me more is when you have a so-called person who says they're a diehard libertarian and they are unable to make any type. Look, signing a petition. I got a lot of petitions signed because I put it on Facebook. And look, if you're working, I get it. You can't come out to every event. But like and share a post. Talk about it to your family and friends. This isn't hard. This isn't rocket science. But God bless everyone's wanting to make it rocket science.
They do. Make it harder than it is sometimes.
Right. So, what else? You got anything else you want to share?
Other than that, that was some good. There's some good information there, and I'm not going to beat no dead horses on Trump or anybody, so I'm not even going to bring him up. It's not even worth the breath of air to talk about him going back out on the debate stage. I mean, into the crowd. I'm not even going to bring it up because it's not even worth the time.
Right. Well, all right, man. Well, we're at a 28-minute mark, I think, for this one. We're going to, and I know you've got to go take your mom out, and you got some things planned after this. So we'll call it short today, but that's cool. We got something live up. We'll come back here tomorrow. Hopefully we can get like a time set so I can start planning with people to be live on here.
Yeah. Even if it's every couple of days, as long as we're getting the message out, the better it is.
Well, I'll tell you, from my understanding, to build anything, you've got to be on here almost daily, putting something new up. And I think it's something that we start doing is being here daily, and that's what my intention is. All right, so you know what we might do is a podcast, do a live stream podcast tomorrow. But that'll do it. For anyone listening to this or watching this video, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so whenever you see us go live, you'll see it. Go to Podbean and all the other places to sign up to our weekly podcast. And we're on Twitter at We Are Max Lib. So it's WEARMAXLIB. That's it. So I'm Brian,
And I'm Dean.
and until tomorrow, we'll see you later. Goodbye.